So Mr. Bachchan will be entering the hall any minute now, but this topic itself is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about from Make in India to Build in India. And this is a very topic that also transpires what the issue at hand is. Because Make in India has now become the bigger initiative, and how India now builds brands that actually resonate both at home and also compete globally. So this is the moment there, of course, as far as a different perspective that we will be now gaining from the actor himself. Mr. Abhishek Bachchan is now joining us live on stage on Global Business Summit 2026. A rousing reception for Mr. Abhishek Bachchan as he joins us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Abhishek Bachchan right on stage. Welcome, Mr. Bachchan.
Thank you.
Sumita, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Amita, and a very, very warm welcome to you, Abhishek. Please take your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we are expecting a lot from this session, and it's a little shift away from all that we have discussed during the day today and, of course, yesterday about geopolitical disruptions, geoeconomic disruptions, and how resilient businesses need to be built. So I was telling Abhishek, I'm a policy journalist. I cover technology, trade policy. The whole responsibility of making this session interesting lies on him.
No pressure.
Right?
Yeah. We're here to disprove the famous belief that actors really aren't known about anything else apart from acting. We can discuss Brazilian trade deals.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Tariffs and stuff if you wish.
Really?
Yeah, we can.
So let's start with that then.
Go for it.
What do you make of what's
I don't
happening?
take responsibility for my answers, but we're good at just reading off a script, so.
So how are you really reading?
I read the Eco Times every morning, so whatever I regurgitate is reported by them, so.
All right, great. That's a great endorsement coming our way.
Just to put it out there before, I cannot be held liable for anything I say. Please speak to Economic Times directly.
Right. But your look is great. It's very different from what we've seen in the past. What is it about?
My look?
I'm sure the whole audience must be also thinking about that.
I'm just flattered that you noticed that I've changed my look, but thank you. Yes, I'm currently shooting of my new film, which is called King. So, yeah, this is what it is.
Do you want to talk more about that?
No.
Wonderful.
There are contracts in place, NDAs, you get that.
You know, we're really looking forward to that.
Until a deal is not signed, sealed, and delivered and implemented, you can't really talk about it, so. It's
right.
Similar in films.
Pretty much like how trade deals also happen.
That's exactly
right?
what I said, yeah.
We've digged the ministry for more information on what's happening in the deal, what are the negotiations, right? So that's exactly the answer that they give us.
It's very similar.
Yeah?
In fact, it's probably more tougher in the film industry. Yeah.
Well, I agree, but let's start then.
We don't have policy journalists like yourself who are, good at their job and investigating and finding out what's going on.
But, well, I'm not able to elicit anything.
See, I'm just good at hiding
You're very
stuff.
good with your job
Yeah.
then, right? All right, Abhishek, a very warm welcome to you
Thank you.
once again. We're talking here about geopolitical disruptions and, of course, policy shifts that we're seeing all across the globe. But you're also speaking of how Indian brands can now go global with the onset of entrepreneurship, with the kind of government support that we've gotten. You have also dabbled in entrepreneurship. You're investing in new age companies as well. You're investing in sports franchisees, and of course, films is already there. How do you manage all of that? How do you balance all of that?
Wow, you just made me realize how tough it is, actually. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. It's something that I love doing. And you find time. You need, there are wonderful people here. You need, 3 to 4 hours to sleep. That gives you a good 20-odd hours to finish your films and, follow your other interests. And then you have a great team that can, allocate your time. I think if you want to do something, then you just find a way to get it done.
Right.
And thankfully, I'm from Mumbai, and the state of our roads and traffic is well documented. So you get a lot of work done in your commute. You get a good 2-3 hours, which you can finish a lot of work in, yeah.
Right. And what about Delhi? Everything's well? Because some of the people who've flown from Mumbai have been coughing.
No, I'm fine. Have you ever
So are we
worked?
at par?
Have you ever come to a film studio?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Would you like to take me to one?
Delhi weather is like Kashmir compared to film studios. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So Abhishek, when we talk about entrepreneurship, you've invested in a whole bunch of new age companies, quick commerce companies as well. There's a company called Nagin also, I believe. I mean, I cover startups.
Well done. Yeah.
I cover startups and entrepreneurship, but
She does her research, okay, so thank you.
So what about Nagin interested you?
What about Nagin interested me? Nagin is a hot sauce, which is an Indian hot sauce, which came across my table by chance. I tasted it, I loved it. I used it a lot, and then I read the label. I contacted the people behind it. I said, guys, I love your product. Can I get involved? And that's exactly how it happened. And they were very kind. They were looking at their first round of funding, and I came on board as a strategic partner. And I just really loved the product. And
So
it's been a wonderful journey. And it's a matter of great pride for me because it's doing exceedingly well, touch wood. And it helps when, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan posts a photograph of his breakfast with a bottle of Nagin sauce on the side. So.
All right. And I was actually talking to somebody, and that person was actually telling me that you also have a liking for extremely spicy products, and
Yes.
that also.
Yes. I like spicy food, so yeah,
Okay.
that's how it came about. A lot of my investing, I think I figured out that a lot of the products that interest me predominantly have something to do with the fact of whether I use them or not.
Okay.
And that's generally been the starting point for me.
Okay.
I think that's the kind of person I am. Even if I have to endorse something, I'm not very comfortable being. I understand as a film actor that it comes part and parcel with your job that you're a brand endorser. You go out there, you sell products. You leverage your celebrity to whatever degree. For me, I find it very uncomfortable and unnatural and almost deceitful if I don't actually use the product. So for me, my first criteria, if there was a proposal that came for me to be a brand ambassador, was, will I use the product if I don't already? 25 years, I still wear an Omega watch. When I used to work with Ford, which I loved working with, I used to drive a Ford car. I still have an idea mobile number. I still use a Motorola phone. I use Amex as my credit card. These are all products that I've had wonderful collaborations with. So for me, it has to be that. I feel it'll be dishonest of me to try and sell a product if I don't use it myself.
That's an incredible philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. A huge, huge, loud round of applause for Abhishek for that. And it's very responsible as well that you're walking the talk, and that is something that...
I think that's very important, and I think that's something we need to maybe lay a bit more emphasis on. I think there's a lot of white noise out there today because there's just so much information. We live in, the age of excess information. There's so much white noise. Things aren't really being curated in that sense. So why would somebody want to, if you're advertising a product, which I presume a lot of you do, what is setting you apart? What is differentiating you from your other people? It's what's your story. So as somebody who today is a seller, for example, what am I doing different that makes him believe that this is the product I should buy? What currency do I have that is going to help the consumer choose my product as opposed to something else? And I genuinely believe that authenticity of storytelling and authenticity of intent is something that goes a long way. If I genuinely believe that, okay, I use this product for this reason, and I have a certain equity with you, so to speak, that you might believe me or I stand for certain qualities, then I think you have to be very authentic towards that. So in any business or anything, you can't just say, oh, here's my car, it has 5 gears, it has power windows, it goes back, it goes at this. I mean, all cars do that. What is it that's appealing to me as a consumer to want to purchase it? What is the story behind it that appeals to me? So I think in that, it makes it, we should pay more attention to it. We just can't generalize everything all the time. It's getting a bit tiresome.
Absolutely. Authenticity goes a long way in sort of building brands that have a lasting legacy, and that is something that you are focusing on, Abhishek. But let me come back to the point about entrepreneurship. You're also investing in quick commerce companies, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, Swiggy and Zepto both.
Yes.
Right? So what drew you to quick commerce, and are you a user of quick commerce? You use
I
quick
ran out
commerce
of Nagin sauce. I needed it. It was available, so I needed quick commerce to deliver it for dinner, and that's how it came about.
All right, then.
Very honestly, that's God's own truth.
Right.
I love this one. Anybody from Mumbai over here? Show of hands.
Lots of them.
Okay. Maharashtra. Tasted misal pav. The world's best misal pav you get in Thane. It's called Mamledar misal. I eat it every day for breakfast, and it's on Swiggy.
Mr. Pav, yes.
You're right? So I called up Swiggy. I said, guys, you'll deliver to me every morning.
How
Can I
often?
invest
Every
in you?
day. Every day.
So yeah.
At least once.
Yeah. So that's how it happens.
So that's how you make companies richer and yourself richer as well.
Well,
right?
not
Because
well.
you are
I spend
invested.
so much money on those companies, using their services that I feel maybe they should be giving me back some. So then I try and
Right.
invest in them and try and make some money off them.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So take us through your other investments that you are currently undertaking, and what is your investment philosophy? Whenever it is that you look at a company, you mention about it has to sort of match your philosophy as well, your personal philosophy. It has to resonate with what you're doing, and you have to use it. But what other than that really sort of, makes it happen for you? Especially when investing in companies.
After several years of doing this, I think it started off as fun. All right, I was enjoying myself. The reason I started, my family office and starting investing is because very early in my career, I realized that having studied a little bit of business, that maybe the film industry isn't the most dependable source of income. We are completely dependent on external factors. Your life can change every Friday, for the better or for the worse. It's not... I wasn't comfortable having to do films because I needed to run the house, because then that kind of affects your creative choices. Very early in my career, I decided that I needed a parallel source of income through which I could lead my life and do films for the sake of creativity and art, and make films that I wanted to make and tell stories that I wanted to tell. So that's how I started. And when I first started, it was like, okay, what can I find that appeals to me? And it was a lot of fun, and I was enjoying myself. And okay, I like Nagin sauce. I use Swiggy to order my food. All that kind of stuff was very nice. But once you do that, obviously you learn from your experiences. Currently, for me, the most important is if I do get the opportunity to sit across the table from some of these brilliant people, it's the person that I want to understand. What are they made of? How far are they willing to go? What are their beliefs? What are their capabilities? So I think currently my emphasis is more on the people behind the brand than just the brand. Yes, initially the product has to interest me, but then the people that run it and are going to run it on a day-to-day basis and make it hopefully into a success. And then can I contribute in any which way?
Right. So Nagin sauce, quick commerce are two aspects, two sectors where you're investing. Which other sectors are of interest to you? I'll also speak a bit about, defense being one sector, which is attracting a lot of VC interest. There was a whole lot of, capex push in the recent budget as well. Deep tech segment. There was also a lot of focus on data centers and AI. Are any of these sectors of interest to you? And if you had to move away from the segments?
No.
Okay, no. So which
AI scares me.
scares you?
Yeah, it should scare every actor. I mean, there's your competition right there. So I think in the creative field, AI is going to revolutionize a lot of stuff. But also, if not used responsibly and correctly, I think it can be very detrimental to people like me, which are actors. My personal opinion is, I think behind the scenes, it can be very beneficial. Animation, special effects, that kind of stuff. It's going to reduce a lot of working hours. that we spend. Hence, your budgets, come down, which is great. From a creative perspective, I'm still on the fence about how AI can, I've seen certain products which are completely AI generated, and they're wonderful, but I just feel somewhere there's no soul. And I think there's an imperfection to humanity, which is what we enjoy watching in film as well. And
So it's not really about actors' jobs going away because of AI.
no, it's a possibility. It's not
By
clear.
the way, they still have AI anchors, right? So
Yes. So maybe you should be worried more than me.
we are totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be a lot of disruption in medical and legal, especially with AI. But as far as films and creative arts are concerned, I'm on the fence about whether it's going to be beneficial or not. So that, I don't have a complete grasp of the entire AI landscape, so I'm not comfortable in that yet. I love to learn about it. I'm reading up a lot about it. But all these sectors, I feel, are not stuff that have a day-to-day connect with me. So currently, I'm not interested in them. As most Indians, real estate is something that, my father always is a big believer in real estate. And I think there's that very old thought that zameen hai to sab theek hai, So that partially is there. I used to invest a bit in gold, thank God.
That's what I was coming up with.
And then my wife's like, what about silver? But yeah.
But what about capital markets?
Yes. I prefer to let my bankers handle that because I think that's something which is just, it's a parallel universe to where I live, and it's so consuming and it's very interesting. But if you're not dedicated to it, like literally 18 hours a day, I think you're going to have a tough time trying to be successful in it. I love to make movies on them, but I leave that to my bankers. I enjoy it to a certain extent. But I think as it is being a film actor, you're already playing with enough risk. So I allocate a very small part of my budget to that.
All right, so capital markets, check mark, gold check mark, property, of course, you said, and of course now startups as well. But Abhishek, talking about Make in India and making for the world, well, that's the Prime Minister's mission. India has been in mission mode, especially when it comes to manufacturing. Different sectors are also sort of gearing up to build for the world. What about the movie industry, and how do you really see that trajectory going? For example, if you see the Korean film industry, right? I mean, the Korean shows, etc., they have really taken the internet by storm. What exactly do you think the Indian film industry at this point needs to do to sort of, reach that level? We are already being appreciated. Okay.
Nothing.
What does that mean?
We're the biggest
We're
film industry in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this from arrogance, this is data. It's a very interesting question because we always talk about, like you just said, the Korean television and film industry, which do unbelievably amazing work. But let's look at the numbers. What is their viewership? What are those numbers? They'll pale in comparison to Indians going to movies. So we have the numbers already. So what kind of numbers are you trying to achieve to become that fad? I don't think we want to be a fad. We are the largest film industry in the world. We make close to 1,000 films a year, let alone countless streaming products. Our population is the largest in the world currently. Internet users, thereby showing that we have access to digital content, is, I would guess, possibly the highest in the world, if not the second highest. Our numbers are just so large that I think it's erroneous for us to say, oh, when are we going to become like, when are we going to create our Squid Game? We make Dhurandhar.
Yes.
Look at the numbers. You look at the amount of tickets sold. That's going to outshine any other show, any other movie. So it's a matter of numbers. I think the most important thing in art or in cinema is you have to be true to yourself. I remember growing up when I was in college, there was a a wonderful film called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon that came out. It's a Chinese film, and it went crazy worldwide, and it just took Chinese cinema and, you know, their wonderful storytelling to the West. What was wonderful about it is they never tried to cater to the Western market. They were very true to who they were. I think the minute we compromise our Indianness, I think we lose out, because they've already got their own cinema. If you're looking at capturing the West, be it Europe or America, which are very unique, I mean, they're very unique consuming patterns for their cinema as well. But say, if we're talking about Hollywood, you want to go there because that's the biggest numbers. They've already got movies that cater to their sensibility. Why did they like RRR? Because we were so unabashedly Indian about it. And I think that's what we have to do. In our cinema, you have to be yourself. You have to love the pomp and pageantry of Indian cinema, the melodrama of Indian cinema, the poetic justice of Indian cinema. And I think that's what we have to take to the world, and that's what's going to set you apart. Having said that, be very content that how do you grow your local market, because the numbers are there. You can't ignore India today. We're a force to be reckoned with in every sphere. You know, if you see, I think it's wonderful. I just thought of this. I read this wonderful word, innovation. Have you heard that? I read it a couple of weeks ago. I was reading an essay somewhere, and innovation is innovation for India. The world is innovating for India because now they realize that, you know, we need to cater to them as well. You know, I mean, we're in an amazing market. We're an amazing country. You look at somebody as, you know, as great as Mr. Tata, who wanted to make the world's cheapest car for 1 lakh, but he owns Jaguar and Range Rover as well. You know, it's amazing. This is the country we live in. This is who we are. And you see, McDonald's comes to India and we don't eat burgers. We eat a aloo tikki burger or something. You know, they're innovating for the Indian palate, for the Indian consumer. So I don't think we should not try and lose who we are, especially in cinema, but even in business. I think the Indianness is what's appealing to the world today. And let's not forget, 1 out of every 6, 7 people on earth is an Indian. So, I mean, those aren't bad odds, right, as a market.
Absolutely. So the huge domestic dividend that we have, we need to capitalize on that and remain truly authentic. That's the big message for you, Abhishek. Abhishek, I'm going to open the floor for some questions, but before that, I just have one final question. And while the board is telling me the time's up, guys, I'm going to take a little bit of more time with Abhishek. It's not every day that we have him. What do you make of microdramas? I mean, we have movies like Dhurandhar, which is about 3.5 hours long, but at the same time, microdramas are also sweeping the internet.
It's the new frontier, but I think it's going to have to develop its own industry and ecosystem. I don't think we should try and cross paths. It has to be something that's built uniquely on its own merit from the ground up. It'll have to be a completely different vertical to cinema, to OTT platforms. I don't think it would be prudent for film actors to be trying to do microdramas now, because you're standing for two separate things. On one hand, you're selling a product saying, come watch me for 3 hours and pay thousands of rupees for a ticket, but hey, I'm also available for 30 seconds. So I think that's bad marketing.
Right, and all of these are going to coexist is essentially what you're trying to also suggest. But Abhishek, it's now time for us to do a rapid fire. Another kind.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So one movie role you turn into a real business venture. It's a rapid fire, you can't think so much.
One movie role I turned into a business venture. We're in Delhi, right? Sarkar.
Okay. If your life were a startup, what would be its tagline?
If your life can become a tagline, then it's not worth living. Yeah, you should have, yeah.
Interesting one. Boardroom meeting or film set, where is the drama bigger?
Film set, any day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to spill some more beans?
Oh, they read, it's okay. I mean, boardroom drama, I mean, not much drama, yeah.
Okay, one luxury you still get excited to buy like you did as a kid?
Chocolate.
Okay.
If you're a film actor, chocolate is a luxury.
A Bollywood dialogue that perfectly describes your business life?
Oh, I had this dialogue in my film Guru. जब लोग तुम्हारी बुराई करने लगे समझ लो तरक्की कर रहे हो.
Wonderful, ladies. A huge round of applause for Abhishek. And now I'm going to open the floor for a few questions. May I request some of you to kindly raise your hands, whoever wants to ask a question to Abhishek, and we'll try and pass on the mics. All right, that gentleman over there.
Hi, Abhishek. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Joydeep from Delhi NCR.
Hi.
So I just wanted to ask you that, where do you get your inspiration from apart from your dad? Whenever you feel stuck in your primary profession, that is acting, and how much do you feel inspired from Hollywood actors? I believe Robert De Niro had come down to Mumbai some years back, and I saw your picture with him. So
No, I've never met him, unfortunately.
Okay.
I would love to, but yeah. I'll have to make do with Amitabh Bachchan. My gosh, these problems that we have.
Yeah. So apart from him, who would
My
be
daughter.
Wow.
I get inspired by my father and my daughter. I think there's a simplicity to the younger generation. There's a certain clarity of thought. Although if you have, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan sleeping in the room above you, you don't really need much more inspiration. He kind of fills all those voids. But the other person I look to is my daughter. I envy the new generation. I think they're very, very sorted. And there's a lot we can learn from them.
Thank you.
Right, ma'am. Yes.
You can have mine.
What advice would you give? That's fine. I think people can hear me. What advice would you give to the younger generation?
Oh, you can't give them advice. They'll
Thank
give you
you.
advice.
That's true.
Yeah. Just listen to them. I mean, they're your future, right? So listen to them. But it's very interesting as a parent of a teenager today. There's so much you want to impart and tell them, and I think the more time you spend with them, you realize they're very sorted. They have a very different trajectory to what I have had, or possibly other people who are elder to me have had, and I think you have to allow them that. I think we tend to, as human beings, always say that no, our way is right and their way isn't. But they live in a completely different world to what we used to live in and we grew up in. They've grown up with mobile phones and social media and cameras, which are a norm, which was an anomaly for us. So I think they've had to grow up in a very different society, and they've adapted and evolved to it. So you don't need to tell them anything. Yeah, they'll be fine.
All right. Yes, you had a question. This is one final question, and then we have to close the session. Please take my mic. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi.
So I wanted to understand, how do you evaluate risk when you are entering into new business opportunity? It could be investment, or when you are going for a collaboration, especially if some startup or assembly level of an organization approaches you. Thank you.
I try to keep it as simple as possible. And what I've learned in my 15, 20 years odd of investing in businesses is keep it as simple as possible. I think the more people you talk to, the more confused you're going to get. And a rule of thumb which I try and adhere to as often as possible, I haven't managed every time, but it's quite high up in my priority list, is if you can't afford it yourself, don't get into it. And I think that's the greatest assessment for risk for me. Can I afford it? Do I have those kind of funds that I can invest? If I don't, then the risk goes up exponentially. So if it's not part of my bank balance at that point in time, I probably will try and stay away from it.
All right. Abhishek, there is one final question,
Yes,
and
please.
I assure you of that.
I'm very happy to stay here. The next guest might not like it, but I'm very happy to carry on.
Hi,
talking.
Abhishek.
Hi.
My question is a little bit different on that. Usually, all the actors, all those people over there, they come and become a producer or director on those kind of a setup. You started a new trend over there. The things are changing so fast. You become a kind of a owner of one organization which is playing over the kabaddi and all. Now we are talking about the business things and all. This is a new trend setting. We all saw the films are earlier like few crores, a few things, Silver Jubilee and all. Now the times are changed. How do you feel so these things are in a future generation over there, take it over there?
Wow, that's a great question. I've never looked upon it like that. I'm sure there have been many of my predecessors who were wonderful business people as well, and They've all done wonderful work. For me, it's just what interested me. I'm very passionate about sport. Thank you for asking about my sports ventures. I've always played sport. I've always had this dream to want to contribute to Indian sport in some manner. My sporting journey started with Kabaddi and the Pro Kabaddi League, in which I owned the Jaipur Pink Panthers. Then came football. I grew up in a British boarding school, so football was part of life. And I co-own Chennai NFC, which plays out of Chennai in the Indian Super League. We then invested in a new kind of cricket league called ISPL, which is the Indian Street Premier League, which is gully cricket with tennis balls. This is our third season. And later this year in August, we launched the ETPL, which is the European T20 Premier League, which I am one of the founders of. So enough of running a team that's too much stress. So now we've bringing T20 cricket to Europe, and it's owned by 4 Indians. And I think that's just wonderful. So make in India and take it back to them. Yeah. So I really enjoy it. It's something that I loved doing. I love making films. I'm looking forward to flying back to Mumbai tomorrow morning, heading straight onto set. I love it. That's my happy place. But I also enjoy sports. I enjoy my investments. I'm very impatient. And I tend to get bored. We were discussing this backstage. I tend to get bored very fast. So it's just, these are things, and I feel I have the opportunity. God has given me this opportunity to do it. So I think it will be wrong of me not to avail of it. But I see a lot of the younger actors as well who are spreading their risk, so to speak. They're not depending entirely on being an actor. They're very happy producing films, developing films, doing other businesses. And I think there's a renewed confidence in young India today, where we don't feel like we should just stay in one lane. And I love that. I think that's so exciting. So I think you'll see a lot more of that going forward.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank
Give my
you.
regards to your dad.
I will. Thank you.
right.
Anji. Thank you. गुरु के बारे में सर वो तो 2007 में बना दी थी हम लोग ने अभी उसका अभी गुरु इज नॉट द काइंड ऑफ फिल्म
Would you
दैट
like to make a movie on your entrepreneurial journey?
no I'd rather somebody else make it yeah जी thank you
Absolutely, sir. No,
नहीं मैं ऐसे नहीं देखता हूं मैं उसे देखता हूं गुरु पिक्चर वाज द ट्रायम्फ ऑफ द ह्यूमन स्पिरिट उसमें गुरुकांत देसाई का एक डायलॉग है वो बोलते हैं मुझे ना शब्द सुनाई नहीं देता है दैट फॉर मी दैट इज व्हाट द मूवी स्टूड फॉर you know the unrelenting spirit of an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, Abhishek, and that's what really stood out. And thank you very much, sir. We gave you your chance to ask that question.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Abhishek Bachchan, who lives by the philosophy of one life, live it fully.